I know it's traumatic, and if you don't want to have to relive it, you don't have to. What you went through with your brother.
Yes.
When you going through that, how is that impacting you during that time? Because I think you're 7 to 13.
You better do your damn homework, Shannon Sharpe.
And the impact that it's had on you and your relationship with men.
Oh. Shannon trying to be a journalist.
No.
Shannon, I throw this look at you. God damn it, you see you trying to come up, Bubba Walters, get off my brother. What impact? Wow. Remember when you said, and I don't know if you said this, so I don't want to quote it because I could be wrong.
Okay.
But someone said, Shannon